Earlier today, Dwayne Haskins was benched in favor of Kyle Allen. I kind of want to give into my thoughts of it because I just think it's kind of interesting. So let's get into it. So first, a little bit of stats overview for Dwayne Haskins this year. Overall, this year he's at 61 completion rate, 939 yards. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. His QBR rating is 80.3. The majority of his interceptions did come against the Browns in a week 3 matchup, where that game he also threw for 224 yards and a completion rate of 56.8, but he did have those 3 interceptions, which resulted in him having a 58.8 QBR rating. Now, I first want to get into it. Did he deserve it? It's a little bit tough because he's still a developing QB. This is only his second year in the league. Last year's complete stats were he completed 58.6% of his passes, threw for 1,365 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 TDs, a QBR rating of 76.1. Now, one of the reasons I think this happened was because Ron Rivera didn't draft Dwayne Haskins. He wasn't really. The head coach doesn't really draft him, but he didn't really have a say in drafting him. Kyle Allen, he was with the Panthers for a while, and that's where Ron Rivera's last stop was at. Kyle Allen, quick little stat check for you. He completed 62% of all his passes last year, threw for 3,322 yards, 7 touchdowns, and the big marker against him is had 16 interceptions. Now there was like a 5-week period where he played really well, and then he just started turning over the ball a lot, which is kind of why he has 16 interceptions. He only has 1 more touchdown than interception, and his QBR rating last year was 80%. Now I'm gonna go into why I think this was, why I think this happened. Now, Kyle Allen is Ron Rivera's guy. He's been with Ron Rivera for a while now. They were both with the Panthers last year, and he was their starting QB for a little bit last year. Dwayne Haskins wasn't drafted or Ron Rivera didn't have a say in drafting Dwayne Haskins. So, there's less incentive to see him through, and maybe there are some things that you didn't really see in him that you see in Kyle Allen. Now, another reason I think they did this was because they're trying to make a run at the playoffs. Now, they're 1-4 so far this year, or 1-3, but the NFC East is it's going to be a very ugly thing to see who has the top record in the NFC East. Washington's only a game back half a game back of the Eagles. So, if now they were going to make the change, it would be now. I would say that, you're only going to get the NFC East title, and that's going to result in you getting a playoff game, and that's it. Or a home playoff game, and that's it. But, their defense isn't bad. They're 4th in rushing, in passing, and allowing the 4th less passing yards. And when it comes to rushing, they are, not great. They're in the lower half with 8.8 yards. Now, I wouldn't say this defense is dominant or bad. I would say it's pretty average, just statistically, and overall, it's pretty average. Now, I kind of want to get into, did Dwayne Haskins deserve this? And I'll go into whether I think this is a good move or not. So, Dwayne Haskins, do I think he deserved it? He's still young. This is only his second season. And you did invest your first-round pick from 2 years ago in him. The 14th pick in that round. So, it kind of doesn't make sense. But, I don't think Kyle Allen is that much of an upgrade from Dwayne Haskins that it's worth for you to potentially lose out on the development of possibly a key player going forward. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Do I think this is a good move? Maybe. The only way I see this working out is if they make the playoffs. But even then, they're not going to get, anything can happen. But it's very unlikely that they get past, that they win one playoff game in the best case scenario where they make the playoffs as the NFC East champ. So, I mean, there really isn't that much upside for you to take away the potential development of Dwyane Haskins. And yeah, that's really all I got in this video. It's a little bit shorter. But yeah, that's my take on it. And yeah, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.